pretties, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for clicking on this video. This is actually a collaboration with another YouTuber that I met recently. She's also in the DMV area. Her name is IamKey21, and I was really excited to do this collaboration because number one, we're two different shades. So you're going to be able to watch my video, see if you're around my shade, and then you'll be able to watch her video, see if you're around her shade. Because with the foundations, it's kind of hard. I know sometimes when the person you're watching is not the same complexion as you to gauge our guide if you want to actually go ahead and purchase it. So that's why I'm really excited. And I'm also excited because, like I said, I met her. She's so cool, she's dope, and she's just very, very talented. So be sure to, after you're done watching this video, I have her video down in the description box. Be sure to check her out. Be sure to subscribe to her channel if you like what you see. You're gonna like what you see, okay? Because if I'm endorsing her, you're gonna like what you see. Because we don't endorse piss poor talent over here. All right, so you already know how I am. I don't like all that blibber blabber, and I like to get right into the video. So you know what we're here to talk about: the Colourpop No Filter Matte Foundation. So everybody and their mama has been on this foundation because we were all on the concealer when it came out a few months ago. Actually, I wasn't. I never got the concealer, so I'm testing out the concealer for the first time to do today. I heard iffy reviews about it, so I'm pretty excited to see what it's about. So let's just see what this is marketed as. So it was developed for the Selfie Age. It's a full coverage natural matte foundation that delivers flawless looking skin from day to night. Oil free, it's lightweight, and it has a customizable coverage. So they're saying that you can build it up or sheer it out. And it's innovative because it was developed with soft blurring pigments to deliver true color while looking and feeling natural. So that's a pretty mouthful. It's already coming in promising a lot, okay? Let's see if it's gonna give us a lot, because now my expectation is high. You know, you done told me all this good stuff, and I want to see if you can come through, Colourpop. All right, so just some technical nerdy specs. This is the bottle that it comes in. It's supposed to be 0.85 fluid ounces, and it's $12. So for 0.85 ounces for $12, they could have done a full ounce just to give a little bit of a comparison. I have this CoverGirl True Matte Matte Foundation. Now this also retails, I believe, between $12 and $14, but I really want to say it retails for $12, and this is one whole fluid ounce, and this is just 0.85. So that's already something that I noticed that, you know, that it was a little skimpy. It was a little skimpy. Y'all could have gave us a whole ounce, but we ain't gonna trip about that. So let's move on to the color I got. I got the color Dark 180. Now I will say, while it was a pretty, I mean, it was a pretty okay line. I'm not really sure. Let's see, does it have anywhere on here how many shades they have? Okay, I can't see easily. I'll run it across the screen how many shades they have. It looks like they have a pretty fair shade range. I would say they have about between 30 shades or whatever, but I would have to say that it was very difficult for me to find a shade. I ended up going with shade Dark 180, and I kind of wish I would have went a shade darker than this. I really don't feel like the Dark 180, the picture that they're displaying, and I'll put it on the screen, is very comprehensive with what I see in the bottle. Now, it may be a thing where it does oxidize, and basically what oxidize means is when it hits the air, it's going to get a little darker a couple of minutes after it sits on your face. I don't know. Let's hope so. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do one side with the Beauty Blender, and I'm going to do another side with my Sephora brush. This is the buffing brush, and this is just to compare what it's going to look like depending on which tool you use. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I'm going to do a couple pumps. Oh, now I will say, pumping it out on the back of my hand, it already looks a little bit darker, so it may just be kind of sitting in a bottle. I know that sometimes foundations, when they are new and in a brand new bottle, they do have to kind of sit. So I'm going to go on this side with my buffing brush, and I'm going to zoom in so y'all can actually see up close what's going on. Now, I don't have my skin prepped with any of my orange corrector. If you've been following me for a while, you do know that I do usually do my orange corrector, but I just kind of want to see what this foundation has to offer by itself. So right off the bat, I'm noticing it is definitely full coverage. We can see that. Now the coloring, it's looking a little weird. I'm not even gonna lie. But again, this was actually me going a shade up, darker than like the model had, like darker than my skin complexion. So we're gonna hope that this is going to oxidize down and it's going to start to look a little bit better. Okay, so this is what one layer is looking like with the smoothing buffing brush. It does look like it is starting to oxidize a little bit, so that is very good because I was super iffy and worried about it. I'm gonna go ahead and go in on the other side with the Beauty Blender. My Beauty Blender is kind of dry right now, so I'm gonna spray a little bit of setting spray on it to dampen it, and so I can get it a little wet when I'm applying it on. So I'm noticing the coverage is still appearing full with the Beauty Blender, but I would definitely have to say in comparison to the brush, this is definitely looking way more full coverage than this side. So if you like more of a sheer look, a sheer full coverage, if that even makes sense, I don't know. If you're not really into a very heavier makeup look, you want to look kind of light, I would go ahead and suggest that you use the Beauty Blender. I'm just going to go ahead and put the rest of my face in the beauty. So this is a couple of minutes after I've let the foundation sit and oxidize on my skin. I would say that in person it is looking like it's going pretty fair into my neckline. I'm a little bit more light down here, a little bit more yellow. So I normally bring my foundation down a little bit, but I just want to show y'all the comparison of the two. It's a little teensy bit warm, but hopefully my concealer will cool me down some. The concealer I'm using is also by Colourpop. I just wanted to get the No Filter concealer as well because I just feel that the items, complexion items, should be cohesive and they should work well together. So this is nothing new. I'm not going to talk about this too much. I got it in the color Dark 48 and I'm just going to speed through me doing this. Okay, so this is what we're looking like after the concealer is all blended out. I think it's giving me very natural vibes. I like how it layered. It's always a big thing for me with my foundations and my concealers is how they layered, and it feels pretty good and natural on the skin. And it does kind of look like I have a filter on my face. So far, so good. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add my contour off camera, and I'm also gonna add my setting powder, and we're gonna come back, my under eye setting powder. We're going to come back and I also have the setting powder to set the rest of my face, and we're going to see how that's going to look and fit into the... Okay, so now that I have all that on, I'm going to go into the No Filter setting powder. In addition to the loose setting powders, they also released pressed setting powders, but when it comes to setting my foundation, I always like to use a loose one, so I just went ahead and got the loose one. I believe they only had 3 shades, so I just got the medium deep, and I like it because it looks pretty warm, and I usually love a more warm setting powder for my foundation. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it with my Sephora brush. This is the Pro Flawless Light Powder Brush. I absolutely love this for powder. And I'm just going to go ahead and press it in the areas where there are no highlight and contour to set. So as you can see, it definitely is translucent. I know that sometimes that can be an issue. Translucent powders are not really translucent and they are more like a pressed powder. They go on very heavy, but this is definitely translucent. It didn't change the color of the foundation. It just literally set the foundation, which, okay, so I zoomed in once more so you can see what everything is looking like. You can really see nice texture in my skin. I think it's looking pretty okay. We're going to do a wear test today because I actually have somewhere to go tonight in DC, so I just really want to test it and put it through the ringer. I'm gonna go ahead and set everything down, mat it all down, and press everything together with my e.l.f. Beauty Shield. This is really good setting spray. So here is the final look. As I stated, I am going to be doing a wear test. So what I'm going to do is probably like clean up right now, and then I'm gonna be getting dressed and I'll be heading out. So the time is right now, let's see what time it is. It is 3:48, and I'll come back and I'll check in with y'all a little later and I'll give you my final thoughts. Okay, so it's 10 o'clock now, so that's roughly, what, 5, 6, almost like 7 hours of wear. And my makeup, now I am starting to definitely notice some oil here, like in the T-zone. Not too bad. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom the camera in so y'all can really see up close. There's a little bit of oil, and also down in the mouth area, I noticed a little bit of separation, which is weird. Excuse me, which is very weird considering I don't see any separation here, but around here in the mouth area. Now I will take in consideration that I do have some laugh lines like right in here. I don't know if y'all can see it on camera, and my eye makeup is like such a mess now because my eyes was irritating me all day, so don't pay attention to those. But yeah, like right here, when I do this, I notice a little bit of like creakiness, or like it's set down into my fine lines, and I don't like that considering I did use the setting powder. I'm used to setting powders just, just sitting on top of my skin and not really sinking down into my lines, because that's something I'm not too happy about when it comes to my face. So on a scaling system, like if I had to give this stars, I'm going to give it like a 7 out of 10. Honestly, the shades to me, there were 42 shades. I don't think the shade range is like that great or that spot on. I feel like for someone that is as deep as me but so yellow, like you can even see in my chest that I'm just super yellow, it was kind of hard for me to find a color. So I know a lot of other people probably had that same issue, and also just because it kind of settled down in here. I think the actual powder though, so the powder, the no filter setting powder, I don't feel like it's good if you have fine lines. You're probably not going to want to use this. I also don't think that the foundation itself is a true matte foundation. I definitely have foundations that are way more matte than this. I would consider it like a natural finish. You probably can go ahead and mix it with a true matte foundation if you really just want to have that if you want to have that matte look without such a heavy coverage. You can still mix it with a full-on matte foundation. But yeah, overall 7 out of 10. I mean, you can't beat it for $12 for foundation, $6 for the setting powder, or I think maybe between $6 and $9 for the setting powder. I know the concealer is like $6. Now I'm in love with the concealer. I feel like my under eye area still looks great, and even in my chin area, which sometimes gets a little muggy, that looks great as well. So that's something else to consider if you haven't already. Definitely check out Colourpop for the foundations. Really hope that you all enjoyed this review. Don't forget to watch I Am Key's review as well. Like I said, it will be down in the description box. Let me know if you plan to get the foundation. I'll see you on the next video. Until then, stay pretty.